Hello, I'm Michael Redmond, professional Go player. If you're playing Go fairly actively, some people will be talking to you about Tesuji or Tesujis. A Tesuji is a tactic, a local tactic, which is very effective usually. And if you learn to recognize these shapes or tactics, then it will improve the quality of your games. And so it's very useful to learn Tesuji. It's a Japanese term originally, and in Japanese, the Tesuji is plural without the S. But if people are speaking in English, they'll probably add an S and say Tesujis for the plural. So in this case, we're talking about the stone pillar Tesuji first, and it's going to involve sacrificing some stones and doing a squeeze. So just to get into it, we'll start with this shape in the lower right corner. And these black stones, the three black stones here, are cut off at the diagonal here. So this stone and this stone are disconnected by these two white stones, which in turn are disconnected. There's no escape for these three black stones. And if we look at the corner, this black stone in the corner, it's an Atari about to be captured by white. So first of all, let's try playing Atari here, and white will capture the one stone. And this becomes a hopeless position for black, because the white stones here, they actually have two eyes. This shape here where white has captured a stone, white has an eye here, and an eye at the N1 point. So white already has two eyes, and white is alive, and black is surrounded and is going to die. So this did not work. When your stone is about to be captured, quite often it's a good idea to extend it to make two stones and sacrifice two stones. So black extends here, and this is the first move of the correct answer. White can capture this black stone. As we have seen in previous videos, when a stone is close to the edge of the board, it is difficult to extend the liberties, and white will be able to chase it to the edge of the board and capture it. Black continues with an Atari from this side. White's two stones here are an Atari, and white can save them by capturing the two black stones. Now black is going to do a throw-in. If you've been following this set of videos for beginners, maybe you've heard of the throw-in before. So black throws in here. So this is a point where there are three white stones attacking this black stone. And when we're talking about Tesuji or tactics, it is quite often that you are sacrificing stones like this. So it has to be a pattern like this that actually works, but in this case, sacrificing the stone here is a very clever Tesuji. And white will be able to immediately capture it with this stone. But this white stone that white has just played, it's going to fill one of white's liberties. So now, black will play this connection. Black has three liberties on the outside. So these are black's liberties. And if white connects here, white will have three liberties. Black will fill first and capture the white stones first before white can capture black. So black won that by a difference of one move. To go back to this position, let's try filling an outside liberty for white. So say white plays here. Black will play the Atari here. Black is attacking these two stones. So white connects. And again, I would like to point out the fact that this white stone is filling one of white's own liberties. So that was what that throw-in was accomplishing when black threw in at this point and forced white to capture here. That was the stone that is filling white's liberties when we get into this variation. And this is the stone pillar shape. So the white stones here are forming the shape of a stone pillar. And this is actually a traditional shape for Japanese tombstone. And so the six stones here are forming a solid base on which there's going to be room for people to put offerings such as flowers or a bottle of sake or something. And this is the pillar standing up on top of the base, which has the family name of the deceased person and stuff like that. So it's a Japanese traditional thing there. And this shape resembles it very strongly. So that's why they call it the stone pillar shape. I suppose it's fitting that this group of stones that is in the stone pillar shape is a dead group. So black will continue by playing an Atari here, and black wins by one move. So that was the stone pillar. And just to go through the order of moves again, black starts by sacrificing one extra stone, extending to make it a 2-stone sacrifice, and then throws in here. And finally connects, preparing to play an Atari at this point. And white has a choice of playing this way, which loses by one move, or white can end up getting into the stone pillar shape. So that was the basic stone pillar. You can still see the characteristic shape here of the stone pillar left behind after the white stones are captured. Okay, now we have a new position on the upper side of the board. In this position, these 6 black stones have been cut off from black's main group. At this point, they're diagonal, so they're not connected. And the white stones cutting them, these 3 white stones here, are cut off from the main white group at this point. So these 2 groups of stones are in the midst of a race to capture each other, in which the only way for the black stones to survive is to capture the white stones first. So the stones that black is trying to focus on will be these 2 white stones. These 2 stones, black would like to be able to capture them. So for the first try, let's have black just fill a liberty from the outside. If black plays here and continues to play these 3 points, black will be able to finally capture these 2 white stones and take them off the board. Obviously, white will try to prevent black from doing that, and so white will connect here. Now, when we have everything in solid connections like this, it becomes relatively easy to understand who's going to win the race to capture. And that is because you can just count the number of moves it will take to capture a certain group. And we say that's the number of liberties that that group has. So white's group of 4 stones has liberties at these 5 points. So white has 5 liberties. It will take 5 moves for black to capture the white stones. Black stones, the 6 stones here, they have only 3 liberties. So white's going to win very easily. Let's just fill the liberties just to see how it turns out. So like this. And black is in Atari already. White is about to capture the black group and could even play one move elsewhere because white's not even in Atari yet. So obviously this is going to be easy for white to win. So to go back to the starting position, black has a Tesuji, a tactic in which black can reduce the number of liberties that white has. And the viewers are probably guessing at this point that it's going to involve sacrificing some stones. So it's going to be the stone pillar shape again. Black starts with the cut. This stone is close to the edge of the board. It's going to be quickly captured by white. White chases towards the edge of the board. So as far as attacking this black stone, this is correct for white. And it's important for black to extend once. This is by sacrificing 2 stones, black is going to have opportunities to reduce the number of liberties that white has. White can capture these 2 stones. And black will start the squeeze. So black cuts here, putting these 2 white stones in Atari. White can capture the 2 black stones first. Now we come to the throw-in. The throw-in at this point, this stone is an Atari. It is being attacked by 3 white stones. But by forcing white to play this stone on the first line, this white stone is going to fill one of white's liberties as the fight develops. So black plays here. The 2 white stones are an Atari. These 2 white stones are an Atari. If we say white's going to connect here. Now let's take a look at the number of liberties the players have. Black's group of 6 stones, it has 3 liberties. White's group of 8 stones, this has 3 liberties also. So quite quickly, in this forced sequence, black has managed to reduce white's liberties by a great deal. So all black has to do is play a next move, filling one of white's liberties. Black has 3 liberties, while white has only 2. So we could say this continues like this. Already white is in Atari, and actually in this fight, white does not have a good move to put black in Atari, because if white plays here, black will be able to capture these stones. And white's group of 8 stones is already dead. So this was the stone pillar shape. It's a very effective way of quickly filling your opponent's liberties with a forced sequence. Okay, now I'd like to talk about a slightly different tactic, or Tesuji, and this is called the Tesuji underneath the stones. And this is called underneath the stones because some of black's stones are going to be captured and taken off the board, and black's final decisive move is going to be where one of those stones was. So it's underneath the stones at this point. So in the starting position, we have a clump of 4 black stones here. And black's entire group is surrounded by white. So this black group is in the act of trying to make 2 eyes, but black has only the 1 eye here and has to make 1 more eye. Since these 4 stones are an Atari, the first move that might come to mind is connecting here, but then white will connect here, and the entire black group has only 1 eye and is going to die. So actually, black is going to allow white to capture those 4 stones. Black starts with the cut here. This puts the 1 white stone in Atari. So if black eventually manages to capture that stone, that will be a living shape with 2 eyes. So black has an eye here, and it has an eye here. So that's a living shape. So I suppose white is going to capture the 4 black stones. And this is where the black stones have disappeared from the board, and black's decisive move is going to be at a point where there originally was a black stone on the board, and that's here. So black can cut here and capture the 2 white stones. There's no way white can save those stones. Black captures them, and black is going to get an eye here at this point. So this might continue with white playing an Atari on the outside, and black has that eye here, which ends up in this shape, quite similar to the previous living shape. Otherwise, if white just plays an Atari from outside, black captures the 2 stones. So this is alive also. So this is a position which is slightly rare in actual play, but it's a fun Tesuji, so it's worth learning, and the pattern is very easy to recognize with this clump of 4 stones. So this is the shape where you will have the opportunity to cut after you've allowed your opponent to capture the 4 stones. And finally, I'd like to look at this position in the upper right corner. Another example of the Tesuji underneath the stones. The other shape that is worth remembering here is this bent 4 shape of black stones. This shape also can sometimes develop into the Tesuji underneath the stones. So black has just played an Atari here, threatening to capture the 2 white stones by playing here next. And white can capture 4 black stones with this move. In the act, the 3 white stones here, they have a shortage of liberties. So this stone that white used to capture the black stones, it's filling one of white's own liberties. And black will be able to cut here, underneath the stones. With this move, black will be able to capture these 3 white stones. White will play an Atari from underneath, and black can capture it. This area is going to be black's eye in the corner, and black had another eye here. So this is how black makes 2 eyes out of this shape. So that's going to be it for this video. I showed you some shapes where black sacrificed stones in order to force white to have a shortage of liberties. The stone pillar shape is actually a fairly common position which happens in a lot of real games, and it's fairly easy to recognize with the characteristic shape, I believe. This Tesuji underneath the stones is also a similar idea where black has sacrificed some stones in order to give white a vulnerable position. So it's important to be able to recognize these characteristic shapes and be able to use them in your own games. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and like it if you liked it. Sign up to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you.